I get to hold this one. Good morning. That was sad. Say it again. Good morning. That's better. Okay, this is most of our first place team. All right, we have, woo! Except for Robert over there. You guys remember Robert? He played every single year, and this year he was an assistant coach and our cheerleader. We had a cute little skirt for him, and it was really nice, but he didn't wear it today. But yes, you guys, we took first place in the season. Yes. And first place in the championship. Yes. That's why we have 2 big trophies here. And we might be the smallest church in the league, but we're the best. And I am so proud of these guys, and I wanted you guys to see them. Unfortunately, everybody couldn't be here this morning, but I am so proud of them. What a fun team to coach this year. They were awesome kids.
Up on the screen, that is our whole team right there. So minus Robert, Todd. Anyways, how could we not lose with the height on this team here? I mean, these guys are towers. It was great fun, and you know, who knows what next year holds? So we're hoping for a three-peat, but we'll see, because we did win back-to-back tournaments this year, and we started out with a loss, and we went on a 16-0 run after that. So that was a lot of fun.
Hi, I'm John, and I've been playing ever since last year. I've been with this church's youth program since 6th grade. Like, the first year the warehouse opened up, I was like the first kid through the door, thanks to the Ryan's Months. And last year was my first year playing, and they dragged me into it, and I said, okay, I'll give it a try, right? And it got me motivated into playing the best I can, and really I love the game now, and I try to improve every time I play. And the most important thing this team brings is a sense of community and how we grow as a team and the chemistry of everyone, and that's what I really love about it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys want to have a seat except for Josh? Okay, real quick, the most important thing that we try and do is share the love of Christ with these kids, right? You guys have heard me say that a million times. That is the purpose of the league, and that is the purpose of this church, to be in the league. So even more important than winning first place, which is of course awesome and fun and a great accomplishment, the most important thing is the unity in Christ. And the biggest award that is given is the Christian Leadership Award. That is given to a person on your team who exhibits Christ-like behavior, Christ-like manner, Christ-like love to the teammates, not, belittling or putting down or using foul language, really encouraging and uplifting. And this year, our award was given to our own Joshua Hogewerf. Josh, show him your award. Josh really deserved it, and give him a big congratulations, you guys, afterwards, because this was his first year on this competitive league. He's always played in the rec league before, so he really stepped it up this year and really not only improved on the volleyball court, but really shined as an example for Christ. So he really deserved this award this year, so we're very proud of him. Video? No? I thought they said no. Video yes or video no? No. No. No video. Okay. I talked enough already.
They're going to come and they're going to wait upon us this morning, and as they do, we're going to see a video clip that hopefully will begin the process of bringing all of this together, just a sense of overwhelming of the awesomeness of God, and God that we see in one another. So our men are going to come and wait upon you. As they do that, watch this clip, which will be followed by another clip, another creation of Matt Decker, who has been so graciously contributing his gifts in the technology side. So ushers, come and wait upon us. Check out these clips.
I see the work of your hands, galaxies spinning a heavenly dance. Oh God, all that you are is so overwhelming. And I hear the sound of your voice. All at once it's a gentle and thundering noise. Oh God, all that you are is so overwhelming. I delight myself in you, captivated by your beauty. I'm overwhelmed by you. And God, I run into your arms, unashamed because of mercy. I'm overwhelmed by you. I know the power of your cross, forgiven and free. Forever you'll be my God, and all that you've done is so overwhelming. I delight myself in you, in the glory of your presence. I'm overwhelmed by you. And God, I run into your arms, unashamed because of mercy. I'm overwhelmed by you. You are beautiful, you are beautiful, oh God, there is no one more beautiful. You are beautiful, God, you are the most beautiful. Yes, and you are glorious, you are glorious, oh God, there is no one more glorious. You are glorious, God, you are the most glorious. You're glorious. You're glorious.
They say we're all in the pursuit of happiness.
A life so fabulous.
So we fight for what's ours like an activist. The struggles here we can find across the atlas. And it all started when Adam gave up his own palace. Now the earth waits for its rightful owner. 2,000 years ago the second Adam told us the kingdom is at hand, died for the sins of man, just so he could bring us back to his original plan, where we rule over the land and meet every demand. And nature awaits for us keys to take a stand, but we need to understand that we can change the circumstances. Kingdom is in us, so we choose when to advance. You got the keys inside his kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody sing it now. Everybody sing it now. You got the keys inside his kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody sing it now. Everybody sing it now. Everybody sing it now. Everybody sing it now. You say that you would die for me, gladly gave your life for me, cried for me, also I can call you when I'm so in need. The promises you spoken, my heart was always broken.
Wow, what did you think of that? Isn't that awesome? Isn't that great? I tell you what, I have been spending a lot of my week this past week with Matt, and we've just been kind of getting to know each other. And he actually had a week of vacation from his job, and he took that week to be here and to just kind of immerse himself. As I shared with him a little bit about the past of our church, as I shared with him a little bit about where we are and where we're going, where we would like to go. You saw those images. Some of you remember that's what Fair Meadow Church looked like years ago before it was Fair Meadow, and when it was in Hammond, and the transitions through the years. And the thing about what we're doing now is not doing anything other than embracing where we have been, where we are, and where we are going, and all generations and all people bonding together. You think you can embark on that journey with us? You think you'll continue to go on that journey with us to just follow that and be a part of that? But as I shared these things with Matt, he just kind of has a sense of just kind of then articulating it with technology. My inabilities in those areas, and he just seemed to kind of has the ability to do that. And I know he doesn't want me to spend this time talking about him, because he's a humble guy, and we're just grateful God has sent him our way, and we're grateful for each and every one of you. And if you want to see the beauty of God, just look around you right now. I can honestly say that the beauty of God is in each of you. I came to you 3.5 years ago, not even realizing how broken that I was, how tired and weary. It's so good to see Jason and Jessica here today, by the way. You know, as we shared this journey together, and Jason and Jessica can know this, we all had a sense of just weariness and just challenges, but yet we knew Christ is doing something in us. You may not realize it, but you have been healing me. This space has been healing me. Your love, your laughter, the way you treat other people. As I watch you interact with people that you work with people who you live beside of, with your challenges and your difficulties and how I've seen you face them, that has been a part of healing me. You know, I never realized my aunt, I was responsible for her estate, which by the time all of her funds were used up, taking care of her in the final days of her life at a convalescent care home, an assisted living home. And but she had a few of her pieces of she would have singles. She'd have singles, she had $5 bills, and she was a waitress for many years of her life. And people would become creative in the gifts they would give her. They would fold up dollar bit singles in unique forms and shapes. And in her bank, in a vault, she had a bag full of these singles. Just some of them were in the shape of a university. Some of them would be in the shape of a cross. Some would be in the shape of, you name it. People were very creative. And she had all of those locked in a vault. I never saw those until I was privileged to open up the vault, and I saw. You know, I didn't realize in my life how a lot of Jeff had been locked in a vault. Pastoring, yes. Living, yes. But locked in a vault. A Christian, yes. A believer, yes. But locked in a vault. Not really sensing or seeing the treasure that is there. And you have loosened me up. Your smiles and your being yourself has loosened me up. And sometimes I'll just feel the energy in my right hand, and I'll feel the energy in my left hand, and then I just kind of start feeling it a little bit all over, you know. And don't worry, I'm not going to do Elvis. So, and you start feeling the energy, the presence of God, and you're doing that for me. I see it every time I walk in this building, because I see things like Jesse, who created and made a lot of these wooden structures and cabinets, and I see the work and the energies. I came this week on Thursday and saw the praise band and team, and Al and all those that are on it. They were practicing, they were singing, and they were playing their instruments this morning, and they were declaring their faith, and they were declaring their goodness. Some of you, I saw it this morning because you had an incredible greeting. You have an incredible just presence of being there. And some of you, I saw it during your times of when you lost a loved one. And but I saw your faith. I saw it the volleyball team. Every time they hit a volleyball, every time they hit the ball and they spiked it, or they used their abilities, or they were just greeting one another. And I tell you what, there is not a more deserving person to receive that Christian Leadership Award than Josh. Josh, yes. I know I was out walking the dog this week, and past Josh, he was heading home from school, and we connected a little bit, talked a little bit. And it just has a great attitude, a great heart. And I'll never forget his reaction, Jason, on your final Sunday here, and how Josh was just overwhelmed with love and the beauty of his heart. And you are the answer. You are the answer for our neighborhood. You have the answer for our neighborhood. You do. Your presence has the answer for wherever you go. Your presence has the answer. We've been talking about the sermon series, Incarnate, the body of Christ in an age of disengagement. No wonder why we are disengaged. Why would you want to be engaged when engaging is painful? It's understandable that there are the souls of humanity locked in vaults. It is understandable that there are the hearts of people locked in closed, well-contained vaults. Merely just images of people and images of humanity. But the true spirit of that person may be locked inside of a vault. We listen to the opinions of others. We listen to maybe the teachings even of religion sometimes. And we lose a sense of who we really are. And we really don't discover who we really are. We're good at walking the walk and following the scripts of those who gave us scripts. And we're following the ideas of those before us. But yet we're really not individualizing it to really what we sense God is doing in us and through us. So I want you to know, as your leader, I've just made a decision. Just simply start continuing to listen to Jesus and focus my eyes on Jesus. We're going to listen to what you would say and your concerns. But there is a direction I feel and I sense God leading us in. And I believe you sense that's why our services are the way that they are. That's why our seating is the way that it is. That's why our facility is looking the way that it is. And right now there's work going on in every space available in our setting, because we're opening ourselves up so that a disengaged culture can have an opportunity to engage with people who have life. With people who have energy. Not every believer has positive energy. Not every Christian has positive. There's a lot of Christian people, sometimes I got to stay away from them because they just have no positive energy. They're just really, I'm just thinking, what Bible are they reading? But when there's a positive energy and you're realizing that God, I'm not waiting you to take me out of this world. You're building your kingdom here upon this earth now. And God, use me now and bring your life here. It's not about the hereafter. It's about the here and now. People who are living in neighborhoods of hell, who are living in neighborhoods of disengagement. You are the answer. You are the solution. The body of Christ. Amazing. Sometimes we think what we need is we just need a nicer facility, or we just need a better teaching, or better singing, or a better looking facility, or what we need is this or that. When I've been beginning to realize that already around us, God has unconditional love, just interwoven in everything. I know I was walking today, as I was mentioning, the same walk when I was walking my dog and I saw Josh. I passed Kelly, and Kelly was in her vehicle, and I was walking my dog, and I guess she actually remembered some of the words I spoke last Sunday. And I was walking, and she rolled her window down. She said, "Pastor Jeff, just keep feeling the wind against your skin." And man, I want to tell you, usually my dog leads me, but I was ready to run and lead the dog. Because, man, I haven't been anywhere this week where I've not felt embraced. It's like the forces of God are just like pushing in every direction, wanting me to feel healing and warmth and unconditional love and grace and mercy and compassion. It's through you. It's through His creation. It's through the wind. It's through all around us. Is there anywhere you and I can go where God is not? Man, I want to feel that, don't you? I want to feel that every day. It's not about just the head. It's about the heart. It's about all of those things together. Last night, Levi and I had a chance. He said, "Dad, I got a movie for us. We've been wanting to watch this movie for a while. It's called A Beautiful Mind." I don't know if you watched that movie. I think it's 2002. John Nash was a winner of a Nobel Peace Prize. Actually, he's from the city that I was born in, Bluefield, West Virginia. And I never knew him. Our community never talked about him. He has a boulevard named after him, John Nash Boulevard. Big deal. I thought if Valparaiso can have a celebration for Orville Redenbacher for popcorn, nothing wrong with that. I thought, my goodness, there ought to be somebody somewhere to say, wow, what an incredible journey this guy had. And these things that he thought he saw in his mind and he did see in his mind are some of the same things you've seen in your mind this week. You've seen the world as it appears through your mind. You've seen your life situation as it appears through your mind. You've heard the voices speaking to you. You know, remember who you were now. You know, you can't go to where you think you're wanting to go because you got to remember who you were. And you have these voices telling you, now you know that you're not going to get those bills paid, and you know you're going to have difficulty this month, and you know it's really going to be hard, and you know you had that diagnosis this week, and you know that's going on in your body, and you know your neighbor thinks this about you. Anybody, you ever have any of those voices speaking to you? We all do. Every one of us does. But he was able in the final tenure of his life to be able to kind of move beyond. And he said this incredible phrase. He said, they showed the images of these voices, and he said, those voices will always be there. But you just stop listening to them. They never go away. But you just stop giving them your attention. And what an incredible wife that he had that loved him unconditionally. So what I'm saying is that all that I did this week, you can call it a flick, you can call it creation. The voices of God, the declaration of God seems to just be kind of honing in. Right now, you are a tuning fork. Right now, you are sitting out, literally, science tells us we're sitting out a vibration. We're all kind of vibrational beings. And you're a tuning fork. You know, what radio station do you listen to? You listen to a certain station, you turn to the numbers on that dial, and it goes to the kind of music that you choose, that you know, because that it's tuned in to receive that specific channel. You are a tuning fork. And you're looking for energy, listening for it. I want to tell you something. It's there. You've been told it's not there. You've thought it's not there. Maybe because of what you see, or even maybe because of what you don't feel. But I want to tell you something. God is going to send a declaration, and you believe this, in your life, in the days, weeks, and months to come. And you're going to live as a tuning fork grounded in God's earth. And you're going to start sensing and feeling God's energy in ways that you never had before, in places that you never thought you could. And you're going to become now the presence of life where there is death, the presence of light where there is darkness. And it won't even necessarily be through some Christianese terminology or some whatever. It will be through a person that's filled with life. Life. Wow. Paul said these words. This is what I want you to think about this morning. Paul said in Philippians, he was having a talk about living in the body or leaving the body. And he actually said, both are good. See, he didn't agree with us Christians today who are waiting for the hereafter. What's Paul's words? I eagerly expect and hope that I will in no way be ashamed, but will have sufficient courage so that now, as always, Christ will be exalted where? Where? He didn't say in heaven. He didn't say in my spirit. It's almost like the gospel we've received has left out the body. We don't have a problem believing in the divinity of Jesus. We have a problem believing in the humanity of Jesus. And we kind of gloss it over, and we lose scriptures like Jesus wept. We lose scriptures that show God full, human full. And we curse our humanity. We put underground our feelings, our needs, our problems, rather than, and we put them in the vault. That's kind of what I did. I put my emotions in the vault. Somebody at a point in my life in the ministry treated me in a way that wasn't fair. And I just put it in the vault, and I smiled, and I just went on. But I put it in the vault. Learning now, you can stand firmly and look at someone eye to eye and say, that was not kind. That was not kind. We can talk as human beings. We can look eye to eye, and I love you, but what you just said to me was not kind. A bodily experience. Think about it. Jesus also did that with Judas. Did not Judas be the one that, was not he the one that betrayed Jesus? But yet Jesus washed Judas's feet. Jesus overcame temptation himself. He overcame. He experienced. He had anger. He overcame anger. He dealt with anger. He did not curse anger. He did not curse his weeping. He did not curse his humanity. As a matter of fact, Paul says, actually in verse 21 says, for to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. Now, what has happened is we've made that phrase, to live as Christ, kind of a pious, spiritual Christian response that we hear, that's really overused. I really believe that maybe the meaning of that verse is Paul was saying to live is part of what Christ's experience is to live life as a human being. So to live or to die is what? Gain. He was saying to be alive is gain, to die is gain. He goes on to say, if I am to go on living in the body, this will mean fruitful labor for me. See, I've passed over that verse. He's talking about the incredible value of Christ's humanity and your value of your humanity. Well, it's like we're trying to curse our desires. We're trying to curse these things and put them down. Let's be real and be authentic, and that's the way you are. He goes on to say, yet what shall I choose? I do not know. I'm torn between the two. I desire to depart and be with Christ, which is better by far. And then in Colossians 2:9, he says, for in Christ lives all the fullness of God in a human body. I came across our humanity is not our enemy. It is not your enemy that you are human. So here we go. I came across this. Colonizing the earth with the life of heaven. This statement is really interesting that I came across recently. Jesus' resurrection is the beginning of God's new project. Not to snatch people away from earth to heaven, but to colonize earth with the life of heaven. I like that. Jesus' resurrection is the beginning of God's new project. Not to snatch people away from the earth to heaven, but to colonize earth with the life of heaven. So that's why Brendan Manning can say, if you want to know what a person believes, watch what they do. Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be one. I have a Dixie cup, an enlarged version of one that I can remember the small version. I can remember I used to have them growing up, and my mom would have them planted on the top of a vanity in the bathroom. In those little dispensers, you could pull them out. And this was a larger size one. It's almost like saying, God is like this Dixie cup. I'm going to reach down into the ocean, over there to my right and your left, and I'm going to pull up some water, and we're going to say, so is God is this, if God is the ocean, and I reach down with this Dixie cup and bring up water, so do we say, is God in this cup? Yes or no? Actually, it's yes and no. I've picked up water from the ocean, and God is in this cup, but He is not limited to this cup. This form does not limit Him. However, in the sense, so He's not, but in essence, He is in this cup because every drop of water I would drink is of the same essence as the ocean. You and I came forth from God, and we are of the essence of God. So God's nature, it's interesting, Peter refers to us as of the offspring of God. That's what Peter says. Peter says we are the offspring of God. But what has happened, I think, in some of our journeys is we have maybe lost sight of our worthiness. We've lost sight of our worthiness, that we are worthy because we are from God. The truth is, you came from God and you will go to God. And the truth is that in the beginning, you came from God and you came of God's essence. So a sinner is not your identity. That is not your identity. You're not even a sinner saved by grace. That's not your identity. Throw the word sinner away. Flush it down the toilet. It is no longer an identification with you. Get it out of your mind. That's not who I was. It's not who I am. It's not who I'm going to be. I have been created in Christ Jesus. Christ is in me. Christ is speaking through me. He is in my life. I and Him, you can almost say, you know, when I'm married, when you do a wedding for couples, we'll say the husband and wife, especially when we use the unity candle, we'll say the husband and the wife are what? One. Now, does that mean that the husband is not, does that mean the husband is the wife? Does that mean the wife is the husband? No. So you don't lose your individuality by saying they are one. But somehow, when we say we are one with the Father, which Jesus tried His best to teach, we feel kind of a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. Oh man, I'm just human. You're also divinity. You are worthy. I am convinced that one of the greatest fears that we may have is not of our sinfulness, but is of our worthiness. The inability to speak of our worthiness and almost in humility kind of say, well, you know, yeah, my hair, it was the hairdresser. They did it for me. They helped me to look nice today. Oh, yeah, well, you did a good job on that. Well, you know, it just was kind of fate or something. We are co-creators with God. And God has given us the ability to build God's kingdom here where we are. Hebrews 2:11 says we share the same divine origin as Jesus. As a matter of fact, it goes on to say that that's why Jesus would call us brother. There goes a long dissertation in Hebrews. He talks about us, how we're like a brother of Christ. Wow. You know, this morning, these images in conclusion ask this question: what does the universal reign of God look like and feel like? This picture declares. You know, I wanted to find, this word represents wholeness. Wholeness. Another word for wholeness, that means your body. That means as a Christian, I care about my body. I see a lot of believers that really mistreat their bodies. I know I was eating with one of the guys, and they're going to know who. He said, this is what he said. He had, I mean, every fat gram he had on his breakfast plate, and it was oozing with grease and maple syrup. And he said, well, you only live once. I thought, nice Christian attitude. Praise you, Jesus. Eating all the dessert, man. You know, I think we've lost sight of, we need to take care of our bodies. It's the temple of the Holy Spirit. God wants you to be concerned about your health concerns. He wants you to be concerned about resting. He wants you to take a day, a Sabbath. He wants you to have fun and feel pleasure. He wants you to take a siesta. He wants you to be able to have time for yourself. He wants you to be able to have time for yourself. You know, I read a definition of selfish recently that has really transformed my thinking. I think we've misidentified what selfishness is. Anytime we tend to give time for ourselves, we think we're being selfish. No, I think I'm being selfish. I think someone I know this week, they put a post on Facebook, you know, I just need some love. That's not selfish. That's being real. It's being honest, man. I just need a hug. I just need some love. These are my feelings. This is what's going on right now. I'm a human being. I'm flesh and blood. I just need wholeness. I just need wholeness. I think sometimes we kind of lose sight of just selfishness is this, as it was identified, is if you are a burden to someone else, that is selfish. Interesting. In other words, if you become a burden, so you're not self-reliant, then that is selfishness. True selfishness is not being self-reliant. True selfishness is when you are hoping and thinking other people, somebody else, has to get your life going in the right direction. That truly is the definition of selfishness. And I'm like, wow. It's not the definition I've heard even in my Christian journey, but I embrace that, and I can see that, because if there's something you need, and we kind of combated the self. We've told you how bad the self is, how evil the self is, and no wonder why we're having trouble discovering ourselves, and we're having trouble discovering the true self that is made in the image of God, that God has put in every one of us. Even Scripture declares that. So it looks like wholeness. So as you become whole physically, spiritually, mentally, as you become whole, as you recognize your worthiness and your greatness, and you recognize, man, I am worthy of the blessings of God. I am worthy of the goodness of God. I am worthy to be where I'm going. I'm worthy to be doing what I'm doing. God made me worthy. I'm a co-creator with Christ, and I believe that Jesus is verified. I am worthy. He died on the cross. I'm worthy. We almost need to practice that, send that in our mind. I'm worthy of God. Another expression is justice. These are the balances. And justice is kind of, you might say, it's everyone having access. All of us having enough. It doesn't mean that some aren't going to have more than others, but it means justice is looking out in culture and making sure everyone has enough. Another word that's described in this, beautiful. I saw an incredible picture of beautiful yesterday. Amy and her family, some of her family had used the warehouse, and they had a baby shower for a family member, and it was the favorite color of the mother, I think, was the rainbow. So they had the warehouse. I took pictures. I wanted to get them up, but I didn't get them to Matt in time. And I wanted to put them up and let you see the colors of the rainbow. In other words, we become known as people that learn how to celebrate. And we learn how that learn how to play. And we learn how to have parties. And we learn how to have good times together. And we don't all get together and have a somber party and gloom, despair, and agony on me. If I had no bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. None of that stuff. But we recognize the beauty of the world that God has created. Beauty. The final one is reconciliation, which simply means this. We make known we can be reconciled to God We can be reconciled relationally to other people. And unity. Well, Father, we're bringing this down to a closing. We're saying a final prayer. Enough words have been spoken. You have used words to inspire thoughts, and you have used words to touch our hearts. But words are just a part of how you want to declare yourself to us. Words, and even what the mind can comprehend, is only a portion. You are much more than the mind. God, we open ourselves to be a tuning fork, to begin to feel the energy, to be able to feel the Spirit that is looking to declare God's goodness to us. We become a tuning fork and we look north, straight up. And we literally ground ourselves in earth to build houses here, to plant gardens here, to become engaged in a disengaged culture, which understandably is disengaged because it hurts to open up the vault. But at the same time, if we don't open up the vault, we can wither away. Father, use this closing clip this morning to remind us, to send us forth here today, that we all, each of us, are a window of heaven on earth. Each of us, wherever we go, is a window of heaven. I want to ask each of you to stand with me this morning. You can focus on the screen. We're going to watch this final clip this morning. And I want the intention of this, it's kind of an upbeat clip. The intention of it, through the words that you're going to see on the screen, is to empower you to breathe, to begin to colonize. How many would agree with me that you want to colonize earth with the life of heaven? Lift your hand. Lift your hand. Just keep your hand up for a moment. Father, you see our hands lifted. We want to colonize this earth with the life of heaven. We may feel we're inadequate. We may feel we're not worthy. We may have all of those kinds of words that come to our mind, but the truth is, that's not what God is looking for. He's not looking for us to keep looking at what we don't have or who we are not. He's simply wanting us to be ourselves and to embrace wherever we are right now. To just simply be the person that we are. To just simply be able to somehow encamp where we are. To feel the pain. To feel the frustration. To even say, God, I don't like where I'm at. God, I'm not really feeling well right now. But God, I want to feel it. Because I believe that your kingdom is here. And that you're using me and you're using life to heal me. We embrace this in Jesus' name. Watch this clip. You can put your hands down and let's just agree together. There will be a phrase in this verse or in this chorus that you will agree with. You are a window of heaven here on earth.
Sitting at the stoplight, he can't be bothered by the heart cry written on the cardboard in her hands. Oh, but when she looks him in the eye, his heart is broken open wide, and he feels the hand of God reach out through him. As heaven touches her. Kingdom come, with every act of love, Jesus help us carry you, alive in us your light shines through. With every act of love, we bring the kingdom come. inside the table. He wants to talk, but he's not able. For all the shame that's locked in deep inside. Oh, but her words are the medicine when she says they can begin again. And forgiveness will set him free tonight. As heaven touches her. Oh, 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 we bring the kingdom come. Oh, 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 with every act of love, Jesus help us carry you. Alive in us, your light shines through. With every act of love, we bring the kingdom come. God put a million doors in the world for his love to walk through. One of those doors is you. I said God put a million doors in the world for his love to walk through. One of those doors is you. Oh, 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 we bring the kingdom come. Oh, 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 with every act of love, Jesus help us carry you. Alive in us, your light shines through. With every act of love, we bring the kingdom. Oh, 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 we bring the kingdom come. Oh, 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 with every act of love, Jesus help us carry you. Alive in us, your light shines through. With every act of love, we bring the kingdom come. With every act of love, we bring the kingdom come. With every act of love, we bring the kingdom come.
God bless you. Have a great day.
Thy kingdom come, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. They say we're all in the pursuit of happiness, so we fight for what's ours like an activist. The struggles here we can find across the atlas, and it all started when Adam gave up his own palace. Now the earth waits for its rightful owner. 2,000 years ago the second Adam told us the kingdom is at hand, died for the sins of man, just so he can bring us back to his original plan, where we rule over the land and meet every demand. And nature awaits for us keys to take a stand, but we need to understand that we can change the circumstances. The kingdom is in us, so we choose when to advance. You got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody singing now, everybody singing now. You got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody singing now, everybody singing now. Everybody singing now, everybody singing now. I heard you say that you would die for me, gladly gave your life for me, cried for me, also I can call you when I'm so in need. The promises you spoken, my heart was always broken.
Morning. That was sad. Say it again. Good morning.